Hi and welcome to Makeup Mugwump. My name is Leanne. Thank you so much for joining me. Today's going to be an interesting video. I have a lot to tell you about, and I thought I would do that while we put on some makeup together, which is usually how I like to chat with y'all. So let's get ready for absolutely nothing except to make ourselves feel joy. How about that? So this is the first actual real close and sitting up that I've done in 5 days. And so if I clear my throat a bit, we'll talk a little bit about why that is and what happened and all that jazz. But so please forgive me. But let's get ready. This is my ears. All right. The dress that I'm wearing is from a boutique here in America called Hey Peach. You can find her on Facebook. She has a website as well. She doesn't know who I am, but this is a super neon dress. It's an empire waist, so it's right up under the bust, pockets, and a little bit past knee length. That's super cute jersey dress. Love it so much. It's got one of those faux wrap detail, what are they called? Seams there, so it's not really a wrap. You don't have to worry about flashing Christmas to all the elves before it's time. I'm in a weird mood, so good luck to everybody. With this video, let's start with some primer. I don't know if I have like anything new or interesting. I mean, I have interesting things, but not like necessarily new. This is the world's grossest under eye primer, and I say gross because I think it's like breaking down or whatever from its original format. This is the Kopari Starry Eye Balm, and I think one of the oils in it, or one of the ingredients in it, has begun to clump. When you want to see it, it's gross. But yeah, of course you want to see it. See what I mean? Like, it's kind of grossy, but it's not really. I mean, it melts down back again. I've had no irritation from it, so I'm gonna keep using it till my eyeballs fall out, or till the dermatologist says that I'm gonna go blind. One or the other. Let's use the AOA Nope, Leanne, this is the Revlon Pore. No, it's not. That's your fake foundation. We could probably use that today. Let's try again with the correct component. Where's my little... I haven't been in this room in a week. Can you tell? Here it is. This is the Revlon Pore Filling primer. It's the Photo Ready primer. It's the pink one. And it comes in a jar with a black lid. And it has a pump. But my pump died. And so I scraped all mine out into a little jar. And so that's what I'm now currently using. See how it mattified real quick? But it's a great pore filling primer from the drugstore. So yeah, there she blows. Okay. Do I want to use my Franken foundation? Why not? Let's give her a good shake. This is the one that I emptied a bunch of sample foundations into, like some deluxe sizes, but also foil packets of like things that were too light, things that were too dark, and I just dumped them all into a container. And I said, now I'll use this. Does it work? Yeah, kind of. It's kind of freaky how good it works. But there's kind of everything in there. So good luck with that. I've got this section here, and right above is an abrasion. So that's kind of new. It's not tender anymore. It doesn't feel like, I can't feel the abrasion anymore, which is good. So this past week in my life has been a lot. I had, in my last couple of videos, I kind of talked about, we lost a member of my family. And so we had, the service was today, but I was unable to attend because I had a surgical procedure on Tuesday. And that surgical procedure went fine. It was not life-threatening, but it was at the hospital under full anesthesia, that kind of surgery. And I am incredibly anxious about medical procedures. That's one of my, I'm going to say triggers, but it's one of the things that I'm most frightened of and ill at ease with in life. And so it was incredibly difficult to decide to do the procedure. But it was also incredibly difficult to, you know, go through with it. So, I did. Mr. Mugwump was with me the whole way. So before the procedure, there was lots of things that had to be done. I haven't had a surgery, thankfully, since about 2004, I think was when I had the last surgery that I had. And that surgery was here at this hospital. I had since moved away to several other states and come back, but just had all my surgeries right here. And that surgery was an emergency surgery, and I didn't have a lot of time to prepare emotionally for the procedure. And it was also not ideal. So a few things didn't go right, and so it was a difficult time, that surgery in 2004. One of the things that didn't go very well was after anesthesia, I was incredibly nauseous and got sick and multiple times, and it was pretty not good. Because that surgery was an abdominal surgery, so there was a lot of pain associated with that, and I didn't want to do that again. This procedure, I took some time to think about whether or not I wanted to get it, so I didn't decide immediately. And once I had decided to get it, it was about, I'd say a month out from when my scheduled surgery was. And there were several things to do in that time. So I had lab work to be done. I had a MRSA test, which was unusual. I say unusual, I had never heard of that. Heard of MRSA before, but never heard of someone getting a test before they went in for a procedure to see whether or not they were MRSA positive or negative. You can have MRSA without knowing it, without having symptoms, be a carrier. And so my local hospital required that you get tested. Okay, so this is the Franken foundation, right? Incredibly wild. It is way too yellow. So I think what we might do is do a experiment later on where we add the blue Pro Mixing pigment from LA Girl into it to make it cooler. We'll have fun with that one day. We'll play with it. I needed more room in the container though, so I needed to use it a few more times or dump some out, one of the two. So I'll make this one work. It's a little bit too yellow, but that's okay. It's a beautiful foundation. See? It's not super full coverage, but it does a great job. Yeah. What is it? Everything. It's everything under the sun. That's what that foundation is. So let's use the Nyx Concealer Serum again, the Bear With Me. This is in Fair. It was back in stock at Ulta, which is great because when I first purchased this, Ulta only had light. So now it has Fair in stock, and it is an incredibly opaque and beautiful concealer that has a serum consistency, and it blends in really well. So I got the lab test, I got the MRSA test, I had the COVID test, and that was my first time getting one of those. I know it's a little bit wild that somebody could get this far without having one, but my husband and I took isolation incredibly seriously, and so I never had one until then. So I got that, sneezed, that poor lady, scared her half to death, and got that. It was an experience. And then had the procedure. So had a couple of prep things to do before the procedure as far as what medication to stop, what medication to take and not to take, when to stop it, that kind of thing. My multivitamin, shockingly enough, I was unaware that vitamin E is something that can cause some excess bleeding. So I stopped my normal Centrum multivitamin because it has vitamin E in it. Stopped that about 5 days before the procedure. So learned a lot about different supplements that I take and how they affect other things besides what I, normally would take them for. Learning, right? So I also had to stop something that I normally take for my pain. So some of y'all have corresponded with me and talked with me either in messages or in comments, or you've heard on some videos that I deal with a chronic pain issue. I have fibromyalgia, and I have found that dealing with the pain at night is best done for me with an over-the-counter Aleve, like a 12-hour Aleve. That's the only pain medication that I take, and I take it at night so that I can rest really well, because if I don't have enough sleep, it makes my life much worse. By the way, as I talk, I'm going to show you a product that I just got from AOA Studio. This is the Zuri Flawless Cream to Powder Foundation, and I got it in the shade Cocoa. I'm going to just try it as a cream bronzer because I'm feeling froggy. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try it on our e.l.f. Oh gosh, okay. Okay, well, we may have just done something untoward, but we're doing it together. So I had to stop my Aleve from, I think, last Thursday on. So I did not have, I could take Tylenol, but Tylenol doesn't, for me, doesn't really do much as far as pain relief. So that was a bit difficult because I had the anxiety of the procedure, but also the fact that I wasn't getting my normal pain relief that I would have leading up to it. So that was new for me. So learning. And Tuesday I went in for the procedure. My procedure was outpatient, so even though it was done at the hospital, it was scheduled at a specific time, and my surgeon, I thought that I was going to be first, but they rescheduled me. I think I was probably his second, maybe even his third of the day. I'd wanted to go first so that I could get it over with, but if anyone has an actual emergency or needs, then they of course jump the line, which 100% okay. Please jump the line if you are about to die. So we actually got to the hospital right at like a little bit before 8. Our report time was 8 a.m. and completed the registration process there. I had talked to a nurse several days before about the medication that I was on, and we went through all of that. I got my wristband and my husband got a case number of who I was without having my personal health information posted. So they assigned me a case number, and then they had a television screens, multiple, that would, it's kind of like an airport board where it would say, the flight has landed, is canceled, is in baggage claim, that kind of information, but it was about the surgery. So it would say this case number. So it wouldn't have your name, but it would say this case number is in post-op or in the operation, in recovery. And so he could track where I was from that board, so in the waiting room. But they took us both back and in pre-op, and I cannot express how amazingly kind everyone that I encountered in that ambulatory surgical center of the hospital, right from registration on, every single nurse, every single operating room person, every single person was so kind. They were so lovely and so kind, and I cannot, that helped, that made all the difference in the world to me, someone who was incredibly nervous for a procedure. So grateful for those of you who care for other people for a living. Thank you for being kind to people. It's something that it absolutely makes a difference. So thank you. So when I got back, I was beyond nervous. Was asked to take another pregnancy test. So I did that again. I tell you what, man, you got to be ready at the drop of a hat to take a pregnancy test before you. I had many of them, and I am not pregnant. There was no worry, but everyone wanted to make sure that I wasn't, so I took multiple. It was lots of fun. So that was done, and then started to get hooked up to things. So IV, and all sorts of things. Changed into my lovely gown. I'm so yellow, but I also kind of don't hate it as far as like that bronzer. That was smart. This is $1. That's really quite warm and lovely. I like it a lot. So 10 out of 10 for that. Okay, let's powder as I keep running my mouth. I hope this is not like incredibly disinteresting to you. If it is, it's okay. There'll be another video later, so you can watch that one. But I don't know. I think forewarned is forearmed, and for some folks that have anxiety about medical procedures, maybe hearing what it's like in 2022, like that would help me, because some of these things that we did not know, we had no idea. And so anyway, so went back, got my IV. My nurse Amy was incredibly professional. What had happened is that my doctor got out of his previous procedure very quickly, and so he was like, let's get the next person. I was going to be the next person, so they hustled, and it was actually really advantageous because I had two folks doing two different things, asking me questions, and you know, somebody documenting on a computer at the same time as putting in my IV and telling me about like checking, you know, the medication, all that stuff. So it went fairly, I didn't have a lot of time to dwell and worry, which was great. Mr. Mugwump was with me still at that time. And we went through, you know, some medical history. Everyone who came in to talk to me validated who I was, my birth date, what the procedure was. I was there for things like to make sure that I was the right person, that kind of thing. Spoke with my surgeon and spoke with the anesthesiologist, and then spoke with the anesthesiologist's assistants who were going to be in the room. They were very helpful. Not that the anesthesiologist wasn't. He had to do his spiel and then he jetted. But the assistants, the folks that were there who were going to be with him, they were top notch as far as answering questions and helping me understand and things like that. One of the things that I was nervous about, which, you know, if you haven't had a procedure, especially if you're plus size, this is something just FYI, when you're plus size, there's some things you worry about that other people may not. And one of the things that I worried about was, okay, so theoretically, they give you some medication before you go into the operating room, but when you go into the operating room, you're likely still fairly lucid. And I wasn't sure how I was going to be positioned on the table for this procedure, and whether or not they wanted me to help or not help, or, you know, like as far as getting onto the bed or the table, or, you know, whatever it is. And I wasn't sure. So I asked, and they were very kind, and they explained it to me, and so great. So they answered all my questions, and then before you knew it, they had given me a medication, and she only gave me half of the dose of the relaxing medication before they wheeled me off, and I'm really grateful for that. Like, I next time that I have a procedure, I'm going to ask for half of the dose. And the reason why I really liked it is because when I got a full dose in my previous procedure, I was very weepy. I got very emotional, and I didn't like it. It wasn't, some people, I guess, when they get medication for relaxation, it feels good. It doesn't to me. It's like it makes me more anxious and less in control, and I don't like that feeling. So I got half the medication. She said, when you get in there, they'll give you, they'll give you what you need to do that. But if, so great. She gave me half of the medication. So I was fully lucid, and that was great. I appreciated that so much. Okay, let's do some powder bronzer and blush. We'll use the Florence by Mills Cool Tones for bronzer, and then we'll grab a blush from somewhere. So when I was done, I got wheeled back to the operating room, and the gentleman who was wheeling me was a senior in college, about to become like an anesthesiologist assistant. Like he wasn't, it wasn't like he wasn't going to be an anesthesiologist, but the next one down, I'm sure he told me, y'all, but you know, I was wheeling down the hallway in a hospital, freezing my tuchus off. I did get the fuzzy socks though. And so I did, he and I talked about his graduation and that his mom got shingles, and so she wasn't able to come, but his wife and his baby were going to be there, and anyway. Lovely conversation. Each person that would engage me in conversation and would have a real conversation with me about something, either myself or them, helped me because it was a distraction. But they were all genuine, which I appreciated so much. Okay, I'm going to use this finally. This is from She Glam. This is the Glam 101 Hybrid Highlighter and Blush Duo in Seville. If we can get it open. I'm going to use that blush on the bottom. So got into the operating room, and the folks in there, again, very kind, did a really good job of explaining things to me so that I wasn't guessing what was happening, because I couldn't see. They took my glasses. I wear contacts for these videos, but I was wearing glasses that day. So Mr. Mugwump had my glasses. I couldn't see squat diddly do. And so I couldn't see anything. The gentleman who wheeled me, whose mother had shingles, he stayed by my head the entire time, and he was very kind, and he literally explained everything. There was another young lady on the other end of me who was doing things at the bottom half of me, of, you know, hooking things up and doing all kinds of things. And so he explained everything. I got myself positioned onto the bed. They were so kind and let me do it in my own way and in my own time, and it was great. And then before I knew it, I didn't have to count down or anything. That would have made me incredibly nervous. Instead, he just asked me to take a few deep breaths all the way down to my toes. And then the next thing I remember is waking up in recovery to another fabulous nurse. And I woke up with a very, very interesting concern for Mr. Mugwump to mow our lawn. I don't know why, but that was what happened. He needed to mow our lawn. And so I told Derek, the nurse, and Derek said, okay. This woman's loopy. I got unloopy fairly quickly, but that was funny. Also, I had made a silly request and asked for Amy, my pre-op nurse. I said, aren't you going to be in post-op? And she said, no, I don't work. She came to post-op to visit me, and she was so kind, just to check on me and make sure that I was okay. Love that. I don't want to say customer service, but it almost is that patient satisfaction of, we will be here to take care of you. We're going to take care of you. Every single person said that to me, and I felt taken care of. So was in recovery for quite a while, and then went from the post-op to an actual recovery room where they sat me up, and I was intubated, which is one of the reasons why my voice is a little scratchy, and I'm still kind of clearing my throat even after day 5. Let's use an eyeshadow palette while I run my mouth. This is the Loren Gray Fierce Angel Revlon palette. I have a feeling it's going to be incredibly disappointing, but it arrived with a shade Shattered the first time I got it from Ulta. They asked me to mail it back to them, and then they sent me this in return. I haven't tried it yet. I have a feeling this is going to be, again, incredibly disappointing, but let's try it. Like, what can it hurt? So I, in the actual recovery room where I was sat up, they had Mr. Mugwump come back. He had already spoken to my surgeon, who had updated him about, you know, how the surgery went. It went fine. There were we got some more information, some more data, because he did an exam while I was under anesthesia that helped us to understand a little bit more about some stuff. Also took a biopsy, so we'll probably have pathology and all back maybe next week. I'm not really sure when. And so that was good. So he talked to my surgeon out in the waiting room, and then they called him back to the recovery room where I was. And so he came in, and I was to eat some crackers and drink some ginger ale is what I had. So I drank ginger ale, ate my crackers, got dressed, and I left. I was in and out of recovery fairly quickly because I was I was dead set on getting out of there. I didn't want to stay very long. This is not showing up very much, is it? Let's keep trying here. These shadows are very powdery, I can tell you that for sure. Let's see if we can get any more to show up here on our eye. Mr. Mugwump went and got the car, and my recovery nurse, whose name was also Miss Amy, different Amy, wheeled me out, got me in the car, and I was on my way home. So, had to get some prescriptions filled, and then I was good to go. I stayed in bed until today. I've been in bed since Tuesday. And so not recovered as quickly as I would have wanted to. Before I blow this off, I just want you to look how powdery. But I am starting to heal, so that's good. So this is such a strange palette. Like, these three middle shades, are they different? I don't know. I actually do not know. Super subtle though on the eyes, aren't they? Let's try the last one. We've tried all three now, so let's just give it a whirl. I do have a follow-up with the nurse practitioner. I don't know if it's this week. I think it must be this coming up week. So that's good. Okay, there's not very much pigment. Let's swatch these three middle ones, because these are the ones I'm trying to get to show up. Yeah, there's very little pigment here, y'all. Wow. Yeah, the middle one is almost not there. It's the one that I kind of wanted the most because it looks the most cool tone. But the ones that I got to show up are the first and the third, which are the kind of the rosier ones, I guess. I was really, you know what I was hoping? I was hoping that these would be like the, these, you know, just that formula, because this Revlon So Fierce formula is so very good. And I was kind of hoping that this might be the same, but it doesn't look to be. But if you want a subtle, natural, whatever, those, okay, we're getting there. And let's see if we can get that outer corner. Let's put some of that darkest shade on the outer corner. I mean, we might be able to make a look out of this, kids. I'm not seeing any reviews on this. I just picked it up because I'm absolutely obsessed with that So Fierce line. Okay, that works. Really powdery though. Really, really powdery in the pan. If you, some folks, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter to me. I can say though, if you travel, things that are really powdery in the pan, I have found are the ones that are most likely to break in transit. This one did shatter. The first one that I received shattered. Okay, that's doable. So I stayed in bed and did watch the 2 seasons of Bridgerton. I said save Bridgerton for this very occasion, knowing that I would want to watch them and binge them, and I did. And that was a lovely thing to do, because it was something that I was interested in. Also been kind of cleaning up my subscription list from YouTube. Folks that haven't been on, you know, haven't made videos in 5 or 6 years, taking them off my subscription feed and things like that, and kind of cleaning it up so it's easier to find who I want. That was an adventure. Okay, let's figure out which of these shimmers we're going to attempt here. There's 4 in all 4 corners, so let's swatch them and see. Ooh, different textures for sure. Okay. Wow. Okay, so this is incredibly chunky and weird, the pinky one. This one is smooth. This one is smooth, and this one is smooth. That pinky one is so weird. Oh, I mean, it hardly even swatches. Maybe they intend it to be a topper as opposed to like that metallic one that is there. So yeah. Wow. Okay, the last one swatches amazing. Okay. Let's do the bronze first. Let's do the bronze, and then let's put something, maybe the blue on the inner or something. We'll do something. But let's try this bronze because it looks gorgeous. So being in bed for this long, I don't know the last time that this has ever occurred in my life. Like, to not be at work, to not be doing things. But it's been a little bit of a blessing because I have been forced to stop, I guess. That's been kind of nice. Okay, that is a lovely shade. That is a lovely shade. I think I'm going to try maybe some of the blue and do a little something with that. Let's see if it picks up on a brush. I don't know if it will. Like a little bit of that. Yeah. Yeah. Cute, right? It'll do. Okay. Do I think you need this? No, I don't. This is not what I would say run out and buy. However, I am going to say that if you like light shadows, if you enjoy the Tarte formula, if you don't want things that you are like, I don't want to look like a clown, I don't want it too pigmented, I don't want it too much, this might be a really good palette for you. The disappointment that I feel for the shades is because I do like a really pigmented something, and these are more subtle. The bronze is quite good. These two shades, the outer shades on the middle row, are pretty good. I think this is meant to be some sort of glitter topper. These two metallic shades are just fine. The blue shows up just fine. It's with a brush. I didn't wet it, nothing. So I think this is actually not a bad palette. It doesn't swatch great, but that doesn't mean it's not useful. And on this channel, we make it work. Like, that's what we do for everything. But I really do think that you could probably, there's a use case for this. So again, this is the Revlon Loren Gray Fierce Angel. And I think that you could probably enjoy that if that's what you're going for. If you are going for the same formula as in the So Fierce, it's not there. Go get the So Fierce ones, and those are more pigmented. But these have some use. So there's that. Let me do a little bit of liner, maybe. And then we'll do some mascara. I will say Mr. Mugwump has been an incredible caretaker. He is not the type of person that enjoys taking care of someone else. And I mean that in a way, like, it's not that he begrudges taking care of me, but it doesn't bring him joy. Some people, they love that. They love, you know, being needed. They love that feeling of taking care of someone, and it brings them joy. He is not that person, but he has done an incredible job of making sure that I am taken care of and that I have what I need. He has been great. My sisters have been amazing as well. They have checked on me. My family has checked on me, and that has been very nice. My friends have checked on me. Just lovely. Y'all been great. Y'all, thank you. Also, it has been interesting to not work for as long as I have not worked this week. And my team at work has been incredible. And I appreciate them as well. They've taken care of stuff. They didn't need me all day, every day, and they have done very well. That's been great. Oh, how come we just noticed that little place in our eyeball? What is that? Great. We've had a time with finding abrasions and bruises all over, and I don't know what I did in my sleep, but I was something else. But everything is healing now, so that's good. It's really good. All right, let's put some mascara. Let's do the Maybelline Sky High. This is the Lash Sensational Sky High Mascara in the black shade. Has a very flexible wand. So if you do not like your wand to move, this is likely not a good mascara for you. But I don't mind it. So coming up video-wise, I have quite a bit to haul for you, because even though I was out of commission, the postal service was not, so I have deliveries are coming in. So we got all kinds of things to show you. Super excited to do so. I think I need maybe some highlighter. Let's do some highlighter, and I'm gonna probably use an eyeshadow for highlighter. I'm gonna use this one that came in that Soda Let's Be Mermaids palette that I depotted so that I could use the shades that I wanted and not have to deal with all the rest of them. This one's probably gonna be blinding. So a fan brush means that the blinding can not be super concentrated. I like a good fan brush for highlighter. Okay. There we go. Oopsie. There we are. So lots of hauls coming, all kinds of stuff coming at you from over here, but super excited. To show you some of the new that came in that we can use. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and getting ready. Stay tuned. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Let's be friends on the internet. Hit like if you like this video. It really does help out my channel. Thanks. I didn't do lips. What am I doing? I know which I want to use. No, let's do this. I have two new ones that I'm obsessed with. One of them is the Merit Signature Lip. This is in Slip. This is absolutely gorgeous. I now want all the colors. The other product that I'm obsessed with is the Beauty Bay Lip Gloss in Mocha, which I won't put on over it, but one of those two is what I want to wear all the time. So there she is. Ta-da! Okay, now I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.